Family, it is your boy Lamonte Faison back with another episode of You versus Yourself podcast where the truth and you collide. Listen, let's have a serious conversation today. I've been getting a lot of DMs from men on domestic violence. They want to know if women commit domestic violence because it appears that anytime domestic violence is mentioned, that is primarily about the men. And I want to make sure I'm clear on this. Women commit domestic violence as well. In fact, I pulled up some numbers from the CDC, and that is 835,000 men physically assaulted by a female partner annually. This is every year, 835,000 men physically assaulted by a female partner. Now, the numbers are still greater as far as men committing domestic violence or intimate partner violence. The men are still in the lead in that area. However, domestic violence is also being committed by women at a rate of 835,000 men physically assaulted by a female partner. Now, we got to be careful because those numbers for men are unreported. I can hear now, and I've heard this before, these men must be wimps. They must be punks. They must be soft. And it does not necessarily mean any of those things when we're talking about domestic violence. Understanding domestic violence is not necessarily physical. It could also be emotional. Okay. You can use your kids. You can attempt to bribe the man. Let's say he's been in trouble before and you say something like, I'm going to call the police on you because you already been in trouble. You already been locked up and the police is going to believe me over you. You can push, you can shove. We even know cases of women hitting themselves and beating themselves up and then blaming it on the partner. Those things happen. So it's not just men committing domestic violence. It's also women committing domestic violence. As a licensed domestic violence professional, I don't condone any domestic violence, intimate partner violence, any type of assaults, any battery. I don't condone or support any of those things. Many of us get in these situations because we stay too long. Right in the beginning, where you're getting ready to have an argument, that is the time to actually walk away from that situation and try to revisit it later if possible. But when you engage people back and forward with an individual, you are not de-escalating, you are escalating. And what tends to happen is how we actually end up getting to this violent portion of domestic violence. People begin to take it personal. There's a book by Don Miguel Ruiz called The Four Agreements. And in the Four Agreements, he talks about be impeccable with your word. Don't take things personal. Don't make assumptions and always give your best. We fail many a time as it relates to domestic violence, taking it personal and making assumptions, assuming the partner is doing something. I need to check your telephone so I can see what you're doing. And then that starts an argument. And the two individuals begin to wrestle over the telephone. We just saw that with Tigger fighting to get his telephone back. If you have an issue with an individual, you should not be grabbing their telephone. If you're having trust issues with the individual, you might want to make a different choice. You might say, this is not a good relationship for me. But as soon as you begin to touch, move things around, try to take things from a partner, and now you guys are in a wrestling match, somebody is going to jail. It escalates. And now we have a problem. So again, it's not just men, it is also women. When a person says, I need to leave, and you block the door, the person is trying to leave. You put your hand out to block them. You could be charged with kidnapping because you are prohibiting the person from actually leaving. When you take a person's telephone, you can also be charged and get yourself in a situation. And it can happen, folks, in a matter of minutes. One of the things that I talk about with my women clients is I always tell them, if the man has cheated on you, then you should not be chasing them. You should not be trying to go after the woman that he was cheating with. Because what's going to happen is you're going to potentially get arrested, and he still may go off with the woman that he was cheating with. You are not his property, and he is not your property. If you're married, you don't own each other. You guys are adults. If something is displeasing to you, then again, you don't have to necessarily be there. Getting upset and getting angry and making threats, I'm going to blow your car up, I'm going to burn your clothes, all of those things are going to get you in trouble because none of those things will actually resolve the issue. So women, when you tell me, well, he shouldn't have did A, B, and C, okay. So again, your decision to burn clothes, your decision to go after the woman, your decision to try to stab him, all those are emotionally charged situations where you are emotionally charged and you're operating in that frame. When actually we should be taking a deep breath. I should be moving myself out of that situation. I should be using my second thought, thinking before I respond or react impulsively. Why? Because I'm thinking about the totality of that situation. So I need to use my second thought and I need to walk away before I get myself in a situation. That is the tool. Walking away is a tool. Taking a deep breath is a tool. But when you begin to engage with the back and forth and trying to win the argument, then you are taking penitentiary chances. You are taking a chance of getting yourself in trouble. And if you have kids and you guys go to jail, your kids may end up in CPS. So for all of the men who have been asking me, yes, women commit domestic violence. Again, I don't condone any violence and I don't care what gender it is. Use those tools. Use your second thought. Walk away. Investigate your relationship in a way where let me see if this is good for me. If this is healthy, then I'm good. If it's something that we can work through, then great. If not, I may have to depart. But engaging back and forth, we're no longer focused on the issue. We're focused on attacking each other. So yes, again, 835,000 men a year, according to the CDC, are victims of domestic violence by their female counterpart. So when we hear it in our circles, it's the men. And there are numbers to suggest that men commit domestic violence, severe domestic violence, more than the women. But again, we're not talking about gender. We're actually talking about behavior. So if you want to correct your behavior, if you want to get the tools, you can call me, Lamonte Faison at Anger Management 702-702-467-0167. So that is my take today on domestic violence. You know what I always say, being calm is cool. Use your second thought and have a great day.